The Battle of Bosworth, fought on August 22, 1485, holds a seminal place in English history as the conclusive engagement of the Wars of the Roses and the turning point that marked the ascent of the Tudor dynasty. This conflict, waged near the town of Bosworth in Leicestershire, unfolded against the backdrop of a protracted struggle for the English throne between the rival houses of Lancaster and York. The Wars of the Roses, a series of dynastic conflicts that spanned several decades, had plunged England into a state of political and social unrest. The two primary contenders for the throne were the houses of Lancaster, symbolized by the red rose, and York, symbolized by the white rose. The Battle of Bosworth was the culmination of this long-standing power struggle, with Henry Tudor, Earl of Richmond, and a Lancastrian claimant, facing off against King Richard IV of the Yorkists. The Wars of the Roses, a protracted series of civil wars that plagued 15th century England, had its roots in a complex tapestry of familial and political rivalries. The seeds of this conflict were sown in the 14th century and came to full fruition with the deposition of Richard II in 1399. This pivotal event triggered a power vacuum and set the stage for a tumultuous period of dynastic strife between the descendants of Edward IV, ultimately culminating in the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. The intricate web of familial relationships that fueled the Wars of the Roses can be traced back to Edward IV, who reigned from 1327 to 1377. Edward II had several sons, and the tensions began to escalate with the succession crisis that followed his death. His eldest son, Edward, Prince of Wales, commonly known as the Black Prince, predeceased him, leaving the throne to his grandson, Richard II. Richard II's reign, however, was marked by political turbulence, economic challenges, and social unrest. The deposition of Richard II in 1399 marked a critical turning point. Henry Bolingbroke, the son of John of Gaunt and a grandson of Edward IV, seized the opportunity to claim the throne as Henry IV. This act of deposition created a contentious precedent for changing monarchs through force, setting the stage for future conflicts over legitimacy and succession. The Lancastrian claim to the throne was further complicated by the fact that Henry IV's reign was not without opposition. The Percys, a powerful northern family, were initially supporters of Henry IV but later turned against him. This led to the Percy Rebellion, including the famous Battle of Shrewsbury in 1403, where Henry IV's forces, including his son Henry of Monmouth, the future Henry V, faced off against the rebels. The Lancastrian dynasty faced additional challenges during a reign of Henry VI. The son of Henry V. Henry VI's rule was marked by political instability, military defeats in the 100 Years' War, and internal strife, notably the Wars of the Roses itself. The dynastic tensions escalated with the emergence of two rival factions, the House of Lancaster, symbolized by the red rose, and the House of York, symbolized by the white rose. The Wars of the Roses formally began in the mid-15th century with the First Battle of Stalbans in 1455. The conflict was characterized by a series of battles, political maneuvering, and shifting alliances between the Lancastrians and Yorkists. Notable battles included the Battles of Towton, 1461, Barnet, 1471, and Tewkesbury, 1471, each contributing to the ebb and flow of power between the two factions. The Battle of Bosworth, fought in 1485, was the culmination of decades of dynastic conflict. Henry Tudor, a Lancastrian claimant with ties to the Beaufort family, faced off against Richard IV, the last Yorkist king. The battle saw the dramatic intervention of Sir William Stanley, a key player who switched sides, ultimately leading to Richard IV's defeat and death on the battlefield. Henry Tudor, now Henry VI, emerged victorious, bringing an end to the Wars of the Roses and establishing the Tudor dynasty. In essence, the Wars of the Roses were a complex and multifaceted series of conflicts deeply rooted in the political and familial dynamics of 15th century England. The deposition of Richard II, the subsequent power struggles, and the emergence of rival factions set the stage for a prolonged period of instability and bloodshed. The Battle of Bosworth, as the final act in this dramatic saga, marked the dawn of a new era with the establishment of the Tudor dynasty and the end of the turbulent Wars of the Roses. The lead-up to the Battle of Bosworth was marked by intricate alliances and betrayals. Henry Tudor, exiled in France, had spent much of his life in precarious circumstances. His claim to the throne rested on his maternal lineage, tracing back to John of Gaunt, a son of Edward II. Meanwhile, Richard II had ascended to the throne in 1483, following the mysterious disappearance of his nephews, the princes in the Tower. The political landscape leading up to the battle was further complicated by shifting allegiances among the nobility. Richard II faced dissent within his own ranks, and his rule was marred by accusations of tyranny and the execution of key opponents. The climactic clash at Bosworth became inevitable as Henry Tudor gathered support from disaffected Yorkists, such as the influential Sir William Stanley. The actual battlefield at Bosworth was strategically significant, situated near Ambion Hill. Richard IV, leading his forces, took a position that allowed him to control the high ground. The landscape presented challenges and opportunities for both sides, with marshy terrain complicating the movement of troops. The stage was set for a confrontation that would alter the course of English history. On the morning of August 22, 1485, the two armies faced each other in battle formation. Richard IV, adorned in his royal regalia, sought to strike fear into the hearts of his adversaries. Henry Tudor, on the other hand, displayed the banner of St. George and the Red Dragon of Cadwallader, symbolizing his Welsh heritage. The battle commenced with a volley of arrows and artillery, setting the stage for a brutal and decisive engagement. The turning point in the Battle of Bosworth came with the intervention of Sir William Stanley, a key player who held a considerable force in reserve. Initially aligned with Richard II, Stanley's decision to switch sides had a profound impact on the outcome. As the battle unfolded, Stanley's forces joined the fray, tilting the balance in favor of Henry Tudor. The death of Richard II in the thick of the fighting marked the end of an era, as he became the last English king to perish in battle. The aftermath of the Battle of Bosworth saw Henry Tudor crowned as Henry VII, marking the beginning of the Tudor dynasty. This event not only concluded the Wars of the Roses, but also initiated a period of relative stability in England. The Tudor reign, spanning from Henry VII to Elizabeth I, is often regarded as a time of cultural flourishing, marked by the Renaissance, exploration, and the consolidation of royal authority. The Battle of Bosworth left an indelible mark on English history, shaping the narrative of the nation for generations to come. The conflict's significance extended beyond the military and political realms, influencing literature, art, and popular perception. Shakespeare, in particular, immortalized the Battle of Bosworth in his play Richard II, contributing to the enduring cultural legacy of this pivotal moment in history. In conclusion, the Battle of Bosworth stands as a defining chapter in the Wars of the Roses and a watershed moment in English history. The clash between Henry Tudor and Richard II on that fateful day in 1485 not only determined the fate of the English throne, but also laid the groundwork for the Tudor dynasty's enduring legacy. The echoes of Bosworth reverberate through the annals of history, reminding us of the complex interplay of ambition, loyalty, and destiny that shaped the course of a nation.